Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Yeah, pass the lead with miscellaneous. We are the Blue Eagles, and we gotta spell it out. So sing it with me now. What? B-L-U-E-E-H-E-L-E B-L-U-E Eagle fly with me B-L-U-E-E-H-E-L-E I gotta tell you that it's and you and me, Holmes, you and me. Ride it to the sky and sing it till you die. Oh, I've been Easter fly. You got to believe that we are the
We are the true kings, animal people, and you know we're singing loud to the crowd, Blue Eagle.
You got to believe.
Infinitely majestic, cutting through the sun as we levitate. Aerial designs from the mind that would meditate. Earthbound, as I touch sky to the ground. Now let me tell you how the king rocks to the sound like this. For bliss, don't think you'll miss the bullet with the beat to the clouds we kiss. Now this battle flag is a blazing blue-white to take flight high across the Orient seas. Grooves in the wind like a tropical breeze with the ease. Maneuver to the beautiful expanse. I'm covering the mic with my lyrical wingspan. Fly with the spirit of a new frontier. We are the kings of the atmosphere. Like
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 radyo Katipunan. Of the Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin mista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela. Ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tunong at
The Jesuit Hour.
Wait, what? No! Let's try that again. Join the fun bunch of the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy as we talk about anything and everything under the sun. Share your everyday Hugot moments and everyday Hugot quotes. G, tara na! Usap tayo. Bring your own baon, bring your own Hugot. The Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends is now in session.
Okay, magandang gabi po ulit mga katipuneros at katipuneras. Nako, nandito naman tayo ngayon sa The Hugot Hour and welcome of course to all of you here are listening with us. We have a very, very exciting episode today because we will be talking about single blessedness or ang pagiging single. So once again, welcome to radyo-katipunan's The Hugot Hour and I am your host. I am Father Jboy Gonzales and I am a Jesuit. When asked about what they would be in the future, children or even young adults would either say they want to get married or they want to become a priest or a nun. And the other option of single blessedness, it is often ignored, di ba? Hindi natin pinapansin or even not thought about. But you see, being single is a sacred vocation and it is an option for anyone called by God to serve as they are meant to be. And for many who have embraced singleness, they have found it more fulfilling than what our culture led us to believe. Tonight, we'll talk about the blessings and the travails of being single. And we have our guests from a wide range of experiences, as well as you, our listeners, will be contributing to our experiences. Marami na sa inyo nag-tweet na, di ba? At nagtanong. I'm sure marami kayong gustong itanong sa ating mga guests at saka maganda din na magtatanong din kami sa inyo. So together we will grapple this thing called the perks of being single. So we'll let you in a few minutes. Once again, this is Father Jboy and the Hugot Hour is now in session.
The Hugot session is now closed. See you next week for another.
Attention please.
Tara na! Grab your baon box. The Hugot Hour is now in session.
Okay, and now, sorry about that. We're now back. We want to be very, very casual as usual in this Hugot Hour. There's no formal introductions, but I'd like to say a few words about especially our guests tonight. And mind you, they have a lot of things to share. They will introduce themselves as we are accustomed to new faces even in our table of life. Ito yung una kong i-introduce sa inyo ay matagal ko ng kaibigan to kasi marami kaming nachichismisan. At saka sorry na lang. At saka sobrang masarap siyang kausap at marami siyang karanasan at opinion sa buhay. At nagkasama din kami, hindi namin alam namang nagkasama kami somewhere because both of us have experiences with Father Archie Intengan, who was my provincial, and at the same time, I was his secretary. So, of course, ang aking kaibigan, si Miss Hadji Balajadia. Hi, Hadji!
Hello, Father Jboy. Thank you very much for inviting me here in radyo-katipunan.
Dax, ganyan. At of course, napaka-social. This is being broadcasted sa Acacia Residences o hotel, di ba? Social ka talaga, no?
May training dito kaya.
Ano yung training ginagawa mo?
This is a leadership training with the Sarangani Provincial officers. So we're training the specific departments, no, in order to combat malnutrition in their province.
Talaga walang ano diyan, ano tawag dito, yung mga nutritionist kasama ba yan dyan? Malnutrition eh.
Aha. So may mga nutritionist pero karamihan mga heads of agencies na dapat nakatutok din dun sa issue ng malnutrition. So So that's why I'm here in the next 3 days.
Curious ako, anong pinagagawa mo diyan? Ano yung specific na binibigay mo sa kanila? Anong topic? Hindi mo siguro yan, wala namang kinalaman ang malnutrition at saka relationships, di ba?
Pag hindi magaling yung nag-aalaga sa'yo, madalas talagang gugutumin ka, no?
Ikaw talaga, tingnan nyo po, no? Yan, di ba? Ang layo ng connection pero kinonect pa rin niya, di ba? Pwede naman yun, di ba? Diyos ko talaga. Anong mangyayari sa show natin ngayon?
So, yung topic ko dito madalas, intersectoral collaboration, and multi-sectoral governance, no? Yun yung aking madalas na topic na binibigay sa ating mga heads of agencies sa different departments, no? Ng province and also of national agencies.
Yeah, it is always good that all sectors are helping each other because malnutrition it's a global issue, and I think we have to work together. And even, do you know that even malnutrition is not just about nutrition?
Yes.
It has something to do even with education. So I think Hadji is doing a lot of things. Marami pa tayong malalaman tungkol sa kanya. Sa totoo lang, meron pa yang apostolate at mission sa mga militar. Mamaya tatanungin niyo yan siya, ha? Huwag niyo yang kakalimutan. Itong dalawa, sa totoo lang, batang-bata, kasama namin sa academe. Of course, pinakilala sa akin ni Hadji, pero gusto ko magpakilala sila sa atin. May nagtanong na nga kung single ba talaga to o hindi. Kaya please, mga colleagues, sabihin nyo talaga na single kayo, ha? Baka mamaya sabihin nila kung sino-sinong guest na lang kinuha ko. Ganyan. So ito una-una, si Mr. Angelo, Cyri, Ugto, kakarating pa lang niya galing Mati. So Angelo, say hi to everyone. And they're doubting whether you're single or not.
Hey everyone. Yes, you can actually call me Jello. I go by the name of Jello. And thank you so much, Father Jboy, for inviting me here. And thank you, Sir Ma'am Hadji, for inviting me as well for the opportunity. So yes, kakagaling ko lang ng Mati. So Mati is actually like a 5-hour trip from Davao. Like 30 minutes, tapos with all the sunburn pa ako, and meron pa akong beach vibes hangover, tapos ito agad, radio station agad. So ayun, meron pa akong weekend hangover, pero laban lang tayo. Parang i-share ko na lang yung aking experience na naranasan ko sa Mati dito sa coffee table talk natin ngayon.
Sige, maraming salamat, Jello. Parang gusto kong bumalik ng Mati. Ang dami kong ginagawa. Oo, yung native chicken, ano nga ba yun? Yung dyan sa Mati, meron silang barbecuehan dyan na native chicken na yun ang gamit nila. Ano nga ba yun?
It's Bador.
Bador, that's right.
Yes.
Guys, kung magawi kayo dito sa Mindanao, sa totoo lang, sobrang food trip. And Mati is one of the places where you can visit.
Yes, definitely. Lagi kaming kain doon eh. Parang nakagain ako ng ilang kilogram over the weekend lang. Kasi parang busog pa, tapos kain ulit, tapos mamaya may rest lang, tapos kain na naman ulit. Kasi ang daming doon, may mga food parks sa Mati, tapos mga barbecue, tapos yung kanilang sikat na seaside empanada. Basta Mati is really like the food capital aside from like the beach capital.
Yeah.
Right? So the 5-hour road trip is worth it. And then of course the people, the locals, accommodating, and then kasi dito sa Davao kasi puros lang fruits, 'di ba? Yeah. Davao is famous for fruits. Then if you want to go unhealthy, contrary dun kay Ma'am Hadji kanina na malnutrition. So dalhin nyo sa Mati, ganon. Kasi siguradong tataba sila doon yung malnourished na mga underweight doon. Kasi magkakatabi yung mga food park. Di ba ma'am? Di ba Ma'am Hadji?
Yes, of course. Ang daming food parks doon. They also serve good coffee there.
Right. Kamusta experience mo sa Mati, Father Jboy? Kailan ka ba last pumunta ng Mati?
Well, it was just a few months ago. I actually have a video that I flew over Mati using a light aircraft.
Yeah.
Yes.
That costs 3,000 pesos, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it was given for me for free. Nax!
Oh, wow!
Sana all.
Bakit free? Sana all.
Sobra ako nag-enjoy. Sa totoo lang talaga, binidyo ko talaga my first experience to be really flying, tapos siyempre bukas na bukas ang light aircraft. Kaya, pero hindi ako ni-nervous. I was more excited than nervous. Okay, pag-uusapan natin yan ulit. I just want to say hi to Glyza, for JD who are all here, and for Doc Pau. Si Doc Pau ang nagbigay sa akin ng shirt na to. Maraming salamat. Of course, alam nyo na, radical magmahal. So Doc Pau, maraming salamat sa shirt na ito. Saka ko lang susutin yung sleeveless. Baka mamaya, baka matsugi ako dito sa radio show na to kapag naka-sleeveless ako. So, sa ibang lugar na yun. Ito pa, isa pa. Baka magtanong ka din kayo, single ba talaga to siya? Ito si Jai Estocapio. Jai, and she's here in Ateneo de Davao. You're teaching sociology, tama, no?
History and Pol-Sci Father. History and Political Science.
History and Political Science. O, di ba? O, ayan. Maniniwala ba kayo na single siya? So, Jai, pakilala ka naman ng konti sa ating mga nakikinig dito sa Radyo Katipunan.
Well, good evening to all the listeners, and thank you, Father Jboy, for inviting me, and also Miss Hadji. Medyo na-shock ako na I'm here right now. So yes, sa tanong ni Father Jboy if I'm single, very much single. And originally, I'm from Baguio, then I moved to Jansan. But right now, I'm working here in Davao, in Ateneo specifically. So yun, 25 and single.
Nax. At saka, Jai, hindi mo man masyadong mamimiss ang Baguio kasi may kapalit ang Baguio. I mean, theoretically. Di ba? Dito, ang daming matataas na lugar dito.
Oo nga. Yeah. We're planning to visit Buda on Friday, I think, or Saturday.
Sama ko, joke.
Pwede.
Ay, bakit hindi? No, kilala ko ni Hadji. Kalad-karin talaga ako. Kaya, basta go lang talaga ako lakwatsero. Ito the max eh. Ay, nako. Sige, simulan na natin to. I think one of the things that we have to know is that what is a day life in the life of those who are single. Okay. Sino gusto magsimula ng ganun? Hindi to graded recitation ha. So, kwentuhan lang to.
Sige.
I nominate ladies first.
Ladies first daw. So mauna ako kasi ako yung medyo mas matanda sa inyo dito, ano.
Pwede na
talagang matanda sa inyo.
Yung mga nakikinig sa akin, pwede na po kayong kumain kasi mahaba-haba po itong kwentuhan.
So magiging single, of course, you basically wake up, because I live alone and away from my family. So and because it's pandemic, usually nag-OMAD naman ako, so I only brew my coffee.
Ano OMAD?
1 meal a day. So
wow, 1 meal a day.
Have a discipline.
So,
discipline.
Yeah, I get to decide, no? I get to decide anong klaseng diet pwedeng nasisuit sa akin. Yeah. So I brew my coffee or minsan nag-instant coffee na kapag mabilisan. And then I get to check my emails and my messages, no, sa phone. And then I attend meetings. Madalas I attend meetings, naka-line up na yung sangkaterbang meetings or engagements, whether online or on-site.
Akala ko ibang engagement pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya,
Well,
daming engagement.
Oo, pero hindi naman ako na ano ba 'yon? Hindi naman ako nagseselos dun sa naiinggit dun sa mga engagements ng iba, no? Medyo, pero wala akong time to exercise nga because nga of these mga engagements, no? In that sense. And and then I usually go to my office, no, to check kapag merong concerns. And then sometimes I get to have coffee with my friends, no? Sometimes because it's pandemic, so medyo talagang limited yung face-to-face na. But because the restrictions have been relaxed, so may mga time na to spontaneously, no, grab opportunities to bond again and rebond again with friends. Kaya meron ng mga dinners, meron ng quick coffee catch up, no? And ito yung buhay, no, na single. And then you get to chat with friends and check on your family, no? Yan madalas yung buhay, no, normal ng isang single.
Oo. Importante talaga, Hadji, no, yung sinasabi mo na pagkatapos ng magtrabaho, meron ka talagang time para sa mga kaibigan mo at saka family, no?
Oh yes. Importante yun. Kasi parang feeling ko, parang if ever madidetach na ako dun sa family at saka friends, naku Diyos ko, anong klaseng buhay kaya meron ako? I can't imagine. No? Kasi parang ito yung madalas sa single, ito yung madalas sa tingin kong nagpa-preoccupy ng araw, no, ng isang single. It's friends, career, and family, no? Of course,
ouch! Excuse me, sandali lang.
Advocacies also, malaking parte dyan also yung advocacies, no? Particularly na nandyan ako sa development work, no, at saka sa social justice ministry. So, ito yung mga madalas na nag-occupy ng aking kumakain ng oras.
Teka, ididibang ko yan sinasabi ni Hadji. Alam mo, family, friends, ayaw mo ng Jesuits? Di ba lagi mo naman kami iniimbita?
Oo nga naman pala. Of course, friends. Jesuits are friends, no? Spiritual friends.
Hay nako, alam mo, yan si Hadji talaga. Inaabutan kami ng alauna sa kadaldalan. My gosh. Hindi mo naman in-include nun, di ba? Pagiging single, kaya mo mag-alauna na walang magte-text sa'yo, oy, kailan ka uuwi? Uwi na.
Oo na, walang ganon. I feel like a free bird madalas. Kung saan naabutan ng gabi.
Sige, sabi mo you feel like a free bird. What bird?
Well, tingin ko Ravenna.
Ravenna talaga. Palakain kaya ang Ravenna, nakakainis. Laging gutom. Marami tayong matutunan kay Hadji, kaya isa-set aside ko muna si Hadji, baka mamaya dyan. Si Hadji na lang kausap ko dito. Sabi ko na nga sa'yo, Hadji, mangyayari itong show na to. Ito, tanongin na natin yung iba din, di ba? Sino ba?
About Cyril, alam mo, you tell us about your daily routine.
What's your day like?
What's my day like? So, aside from work, let's not talk about work kasi, di ba, napaka-boring naman if we talk about work. Being single is all about freedom and it's all about liberation. Kasi you get to decide... Liberation?
Para naman to political discussion.
Wala. No, let's not delve into here. That kind of stuff. Kasi delikado. Diba, Father? So, anyway, yun lang. There's a sense of freedom kasi you get to decide where to eat. I mean, for myself, it's not really a big deal if I'm going out alone, if I'm going to eat alone or watch a movie alone. My personality kasi, it's more of like an introvert. So I grew up with my upbringing. I grew up as an only child sa family. So sanay na akong mag-isa sa bahay. And then I have friends, but since they're already professionals now, minsan busy sila or may busy sa work or may conflict of schedule. So I'd rather do things on my own kasi parang kontrolado ko yung time. On my daily life, kasi tinatamad akong magluto dito sa sa bahay. So, either yun nagpapa-food panda lang ako. Ayoko kasi magluto kasi kung magluto ako, baka maraming rice akong maluto tapos maraming kanin. So good for 5 siguro ang kakainin ko dito. Unlike kay Ma'am Hadj na one meal per day. So hindi ko yan kaya kasi mababaliw ako niyan. Right? Hindi ko kaya yung 1 meal per day. So dapat parang 1 meal per hour, ganon. Joke lang, hindi. So kung ma-bored ako sa bahay, I'd rather go out and then sa mall. Yun lang. And then maybe watch Netflix. And then maybe on the weekends, we'll chat and text my friends. Kung nasan sila, we'll go out to have drinks sa bar or to socialize. And then maybe that's the time I'm gonna meet new people. Yun na yun. Meet new people and then interact with other people during the weekends. And then that's pretty much it. That's the time, socialize.
Okay, Jello, may nagtanong sa akin, no? Ganyan.
Yes, what question is that, Father?
Okay. Okay lang ba kung magkaroon, open ka ba magkaroon ng more friends?
Sure, yes. Why not? I'm open to having
guys,
more friends.
sabi niya yan, hindi naman galing yan sa akin. Okay. so yun. Sabi ko na nga ba? Okay. Jai, sige, kwento mo naman ang buhay mo dito. Sige nga.
Well, unlike Miss Hadj and si Jello, I actually live with family friends, almost close as relatives. So may pamangkin akong dalawa. So I wake up at around 8 a.m. That's usually, of course, fix the bed, think about what I will be doing for the rest of the day, and thank God that I'm awake. And yun, tapos, just like Mom Hadj, instead of checking messages from a special someone, ang chine-check ko is emails from work. Mga current demands. And then, of course, mga ganyan. Then, have my coffee. I like iced coffee. And then, usually pag weekdays, starting from 9 down to about 7, I'm working lalo na ngayon at election, so don't have that much of a free time. For weekends, we usually spend it with family. I'm gonna call my mom because my mom is out of the country. So usually we're gonna talk for a very, very long time. And occasionally, I also meet new friends. Depende kung ano yung definition ng new friends. And sometimes with barkada din. Very, very different, but may certain routine because of the pandemic, but it only works for weekdays. And it's mostly for trabaho. Yun lang, ganun lang kasimple, Father.
Kala mo hindi ako single? Single naman ako Ganun din naman kasimple ang buhay. Just say, yeah, instead of living with my family, I'm living with a community of Jesuits, no? So it's more or less the same ball game, except that there are differences because our vocations are different. For example, may mass talaga ako every day, depending walang mass. So maganon, yung iba talaga yung buhay ng single. So let's look at some of our comments. Pasensya na guys if I look at this way, because the monitor where your comments are is at the right part of my screen. Okay, so let's go back. Sabi, una-una maraming nagpapahay. Okay, so again, Glyza, hello Glyza. Gmar is also here. They're all from ISFO. And si Team Bravo is also, hi everyone, loves tonight's topic. At saka may comment siya kanina, gusto niya yung sinabi mo daw, Jello, na gusto ko yan, being single means liberation talaga, Nax. Meron talagang naka-pick up sa sinabi mo. Tapos, pero ito, no, Jello, meron ka pang isa pa. Bakit ang daming fans si Jello dito?
Oo nga.
TL. Anong TL? True love?
Oh? Agad-agad?
Agad-agad? Ano to?
Team leader.
Team leader. Galing kay Maria Elvina Jane Maraveles. Nax, ganyan.
Yes, kasama ko yan sa trabaho. Hi Maria. Happy viewing.
Hi Maria daw, ganyan. Saka si Jean Hesuro, sabi ni Jean, gusto ko yung 1 meal per hour. Hadji, turuan mo si Gina. Akit ka lang naman sa second floor. Tapos, yan. Si JD din, pareho kami ni Sir Jello, 1 meal an hour. Hindi, pero yung kay Jean pala, mali. Sabi niya 1 meal per hour. O nga, 1 meal per hour nga. Puro kainan to eh. May tanong dito, sabi ni Glyza, ask ko lang po, do you think single people like being single? May times po ba na jowang-jowa ka na or you like it that way po?
Sino ba father ang unang sabi?
Kahit sino.
Sige, go ahead, Jai.
For me, there are parang, siguro paminsan-minsan, pero nawawala naman siya. Parang gusto ko ng jowa right now. Pero after 2 hours, mawawala lang din siya. Ganun. Kasi before, when I was younger, I really am looking for someone. Parang feeling ko pag wala akong ka-chat or wala akong someone to constantly talk to, parang something is missing. But once na medyo tumanda-tanda na ako, parang I value the freedom that I have. Nahawak ko yung oras ko. So lately, as of the moment, now that I am focusing on my career and also with my family, hindi naman. I really do enjoy being single and I'm happy with it. And yung mga bagay na hinahanap ko before in a romantic relationship, I was able to find it on other relationships, like friendship, family, mga ganyan. So, no, I'm very, very much happy being single.
Ang ganda ng point mo, no? Yung hinahanap mo sa isang gusto mong maging jowa, I mean, the qualities, you found it in other relationships.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Curious ako, ano yung mga qualities na yon?
For friends, kasi parang dati, gusto ko ng jowa para always akong may kakampi, always akong may kausap. Pag medyo stress ako, may lalabasan ako ng stress from work or from my studies because I'm currently having my master's or I'm still a student for graduate school. And then I realized, pwede ko naman siyang gawin sa kaibigan. Tapos, ang maganda pa pag kaibigan, hindi na ako babalik sa uno. Kasi pag in a relationship, tas it will not work, hala, papakilala ko na naman sarili ko, kukwento ko na naman favorite color ko, magbibigay na naman ako ng family background. So, nakakapagod na. So, at least pag friends, hindi na ako magkukwento, alam mo na background nito, So, yun, tuloy-tuloy na lang siya. Yun, and of course, quality time, may mga I want to spend quality time with someone, I can always do it with my family. So, yun siya. I had it with my friends and family. Doon ko nahanap.
Sige nga, ano yung favorite color mo?
Wala. Depende. Depende sa ano. Depende kung anong maganda.
Pero Jai, I like the parang I like yung metaphor mo dun na hawak mo yung oras mo kasi single ka.
Yeah.
Literally, ganun yung feeling kapag single ka. No, because I also had, at one point in my life, I also had a boyfriend. No? And a disclosure na ha. So,
talaga. Wow, talaga. Love life reveal po ito. Okay. Totoo naman, di ba? Sino nagsabi kapag single ka, kasi hindi ka nagkaroon ng jowa?
Ay!
So, yun. Medyo, and then I thought that ngayon na single na ako, parang na-feel ko na talagang hawak na hawak ko yung aking oras. Parang I'm not obliged, or I'm not duty bound to report my day to another person. Kasi hindi ko naman ginagawa yan sa parents ko. And then, parang there's that parang some sense of duty na gagawin mo siya kapag may partner ka. And parang feeling ko it's so taxing, no? Parang kailangan kong i-log parang my day para doon sa partner ko. And then na-feel ko na talagang hawak ko yung oras, no? Because I have freer time. Ang schedule ko medyo mas maluwag. So, enjoy ako na pagiging single. And madalas kasi lahat ng karamihan ng aking friends ay may mga boyfriends, no? Because we're trans, karamihan sa kanila may boyfriend, and they madalas kino-compare nila yung kanilang relationship sa aking relationship because most of the time ako yung walang boyfriend. And always silang kino-compare at sinasabi, hanap ka always ng partner kasi parang ano naman, parang lonely naman kapag wala kang, ang sad naman ng buhay na wala kang partner. But I also thought that kahit naman may partner at boyfriend sila, parang always iyakan blues naman ang nire-report sa akin. So, parang hindi ko ma-imagine yung sarili ko na pagdadaanan always yung kanilang pinagdadaanan dahil so hindi ideal naman na meron kang partner. No, hindi naman always ideal na may partner kasi siguro galing lang siya sa parang heteronormative na kamalayan na dapat meron ka talagang partner in order for you to be happy, no? So
Not necessarily.
No, non sequitur talaga yung dapat meron yung partner para maging happy ka, no? And I've proven that, no? Magka-42 na ako tomorrow.
Wow, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Miss.
Say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, di ba?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
So may mga expressions ako sa kanila, no, na hindi kailangan magkaroon ng boyfriend or partner para maging happy. Sa 42 years old ko by tomorrow, siguro mabibilang lang yung naging partner ko sa buhay na masyadong malalim at nagkaroon ako ng cannonball experience para mag-commit dun sa buhay na pagiging single.
Pag-usapan natin yung cannonball experiences. Ano po yung cannonball experiences? Ang reference po niyan ay yung conversion ni Saint Ignatius. Nung natamaan siya ng cannonball, doon niya na nag-embark ng journey ng pagkakilala sa kanyang sarili, anong tawag ng Diyos sa kanya. Kaya iniwan niya yung buhay niya, yung nakaraang buhay niya bilang sundalo at naging sundalo ni Kristo siya. So yun ang ibig sabihin, may cannonball experience, may aha moment na yun yung that would catapult you to take a different path. Right, Hadji?
Yes.
Kaya, natatawa ko rin kasi nai-imagine ko, si Hadji kasi ay isa sa mga pinupuntahan ng mga tao para lang ilabas ang kanilang mga hinanaing at saka kung lahat-lahat na. Oo, so totoo lang. Magaling si Hadji makinig. Kaya, totoo yan sinasabi niya. Sabi ko, meron ka namang jowa pero iyak ka naman dito sa akin. Diba? Dapat baliktad.
Totoo.
Ano yan, si Miss Hadji. Ano nga yung pinag-usapan natin nung simang gabi? Ikaw yung ginawang human journal.
Oo, human journal.
Ginawa yan sa human journal. Kasi yung listening skills and empathy ni Miss Hadji is over the top talaga. Sobra.
Because I have more time because I'm single.
That time, di ba? Yeah, you were kinda half partially single that time, pero may gumawa sa'yo na as in like ginawa kang human journal, right? Pero I actually agree with Jan's perspective or answer earlier. For being single kasi it actually depends on one's upbringing and perspective, right? And surrounding support system, like yung minention ni Jan kanina, and also my experience is that it depends on the support system that you're having. If you have supportive friends, and if you have like family, like a loving family, and then all your needs are actually met, and then satisfied ka rin sa work mo, so being single won't be like a challenge to you, right? Kasi and it's actually like a change of perspective. Like for example, nung Valentine's Day, I kept scrolling on my Facebook newsfeed, tapos ang daming bitter na mga single doon. Bakit daw wala silang kadate? Ba't wala daw silang jowa? Maghihintay daw sila sa mga lodge and mga short time na lodges na at babatukan daw nila kung sinong papasok. So parang ako naman is napaka-bitter naman. Ba't wala ka bang friends? Wala ka bang, I mean, Valentine's Day is about a special day of love, right? It's not just love between two lovers or between a couple or relationship. It's an expression of love between your family, even yourself, right? Kasi yung Valentine's Day, I mean, naiba ako, right? So being single, I expressed my love to myself. Like I treated myself outside. I ate alone outside. I showed people na it's okay to be single on Valentine's Day and not be bitter about it, because you have yourself in the first place.
Yeah.
You are your own first and foremost support system, right? So if your friends are busy having dates, if your family is busy at work, hindi pa umuwi yung mga parents mo, your brothers and sisters are busy at work, life goes on, so you have to get up and treat yourself, right? So at the end of the day, diba? At the end of the day,
So you dated yourself, Angelo, last Valentine's Day.
well, it's such a selfish thing to say, right? If you think
No.
It's not selfish.
It's self-love, right?
Self-love, right? So I'm actually an advocator of self-love kasi that's the number one thing that we lack in this world. So if before you're going to love others, you should learn how to love yourself first, right? You should practice on how to love yourself first, taking care of your own body, your own health, and your own mental health, right? Ayun lang.
At saka, well, really, hindi ko naman correct, pero totoo yung sinasabi namin ni Hadji, Jello, na that is not selfish. There is a difference between withdrawing because you hate people from withdrawing because you need to take care of yourself. And or at the same time, you want to value solitude. Solitude is a very sacred tradition, and sacred practice wherein you get to appreciate who you are. That way, when you are in a relationship, alam ng ka-relationship mo kung sino ka, kasi kilala mo yung sarili mo. Hindi mo alam yung sarili mo kasi laging depende kung anong gusto niya. I mean, depende kung ano yung in a relationship, both has to be kumbaga solid sa kanyang core. Yun ang sinasabi nun. Kaya bakit lumawas yung aking pagiging daddy dito? Lumalabas yung parental instinct ko.
Oo nga eh.
Okay lang, kaya ka father tawag sa'yo eh, kasi you're actually a father, so
Jello, alam mo, you really look like my student. That's why I'm sorry na lang. Kahit ikaw, Jai, you look like my students. My God, so parang natural ako na nagiging Father, teka, you need to hear this, guy. Sabi ni James, kaunti na lang, Father Jboy. Lilipat na rin ako ng Mindanao. Ayan, again. Jai kasi. Yeah. Okay, ito naman galing kay Judith. Marami ba talagang gwapo sa Davao?
Dami mo fans, Jello.
Ano ba yan?
Ano magiging single niyan?
Okay, teka. Okay, ang daming comment dito. Hindi ko na mabasa lahat. Ito kay JD. Meron siyang shinare kanina tungkol sa, sabi niya, ang pagiging single. I mean, it's both a blessing and also, sometimes it's also a challenge. Pero maganito sinabi niya, I 100% agree with Miss Hadji. Sobrang taxing yung pagre-report. Ayan. Pagre-report sa jowa. I'm not in a relationship. Sabi niya. MBSB po ako. Anong MBSB?
No boyfriend
since birth?
No boyfriend since birth. Okay. But I have seen my friends go through it. As in, when we hang out, panay message sa jowa kung kung nasaan siya at anong ginagawa niya. Ayan. May advice ako dyan. Padala mo na lang yung Google Calendar mo.
Full schedule.
Oo, yung schedule mo nandun na, di ba? Para wala nang tanong-tanong, ganyan. Okay. Saka gusto nila yung kay Jean, sabi Jean, true, being single does not tantamount to loneliness or unhappiness. Okay, so yun. So galing. Alright. Teka, ito na lang. Alone but never lonely, sabi ni Glyza.
Of course.
At saka sabi ni JD uli, I completely agree with self-love first. Kasi kapag di mo mahal ang sarili mo, hindi ka makakapagbigay ng pagmamahal sa iba. You cannot give something that you don't have. Nuts!
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts to us. Go and ask and put it in your comment section or send 100 stars. Yay! Ang dami ng hearts ako nakita. Kaya, sige, the Hugot Hour is always about the bunot-bunot. Kasi there are a lot of questions coming from many and comments coming from our Twitter friends, our Facebook friends. I might as well read them. Okay. Ito yung nabunot ko yung pinakamalaki. Mahaba to. Ito. Bokasyon ba talaga ang single blessedness? Swerte ba o malas ang walang katabi? Sabi ni Ron, ang kanyang Twitter handle ay ang _ the flower angel. I say swerte, but that's just me. But I'll try to listen while doing anti-yaya duties. Ako sinagot ko siya, sabi niya, I like that. Siyempre ako, uncle yaya duties kasi namimiss ko yung mga pamangkin ko. It's one of the perks of being single, di ba? You have time really for your pamangkins and in other words, you don't really miss out on having kids. Hindi nga yan lang siya biological, but you can have kids really to take care of. Anyway, sige, what can you say about that? Grabe, nag-dead air tayo.
Bukasyon ba?
Hindi kasi alam kung sinong mauna. Sino ba? Sige, ako na lang. Ako kasi nauna na yung sila kan yung mga ladies kanina. Ano ba yung question ulit kung bokasyon ba ang pagiging single? Well, hindi naman siya ganun ka bokasyon. Hindi naman talaga siyang matawag na bokasyon. I think it's what we can call a phase. Because as humans, we actually enter into a series of phases throughout our lives, right? So, during our high school and college phases, there are a lot of us who were actually immersed into our studies, into our education. Ang iba naman is siguro nagjowa sila agad during their studies just for them to like find compensation sa stress and as an alternative or as parang meron silang matatawag na comfort zone yung jowa sila during their studies, right? Because well, it's a matter of perspective, either comfort zone or the other thing. And then after our education, we go through our like adult phase, working phase. That's when many of my batchmates were married. Many had been engaged. Many had kids. So that's like the phase wherein we enter into our family life and then we settle down, right? And well, there are also those of us sa mga single. We tend to focus more on our work, on our family. Like we focus kasi siguro either breadwinners tayo or either we are traumatized, right? We are traumatized with the relationships of our friends, or with my experience, we are traumatized with the relationship of our mother and father. Like magkahiwalay sila. And then gulo sa pamilya, like meron sigurong kabit or anak sa labas, like the usual Filipino telenovelas, right? So siguro this is the Hugot Hour. So bakit single? may paghuhugutan kung bakit single. Hindi lang kung bakit single lang per se. Gusto ko lang maging single kasi single, ganun. Kasi naman may pinagfo-focus ng ibang mga bagay. Right? So it's not really a vocation, but it's more of a phase. Pero once we the single people settled down into that phase, like everything has been settled, naging professional na, naging successful na. I think that's the time that we can say na maybe it's time to find another human being to live in with and to love. But there are other single people who have graduated outside of that phase na nag-result into like nagmamadali sila, like they engage into Tinder or dating apps or aggressive talaga, right? Aggressive or nagmamadali. Like,
Natatawa tayo sa Tinder. Ay, meron kayang Catholic dating apps.
Hindi ko kasi alam paano gumamit ng Tinder. Wala akong account. Everyone's talking about Tinder. They're talking about
There's another one.
apps. I don't have one.
Yung mga dating apps. Ang nakakatawa sa akin sa Facebook, yung Catholic dating app talaga.
Wow.
Find your Catholic partner. Kailan talagang Catholic partner? So, matagal na yan meron. Actually, yes. Even 10 years ago, may mga ganun ng kuwan eh.
Pero Father, gusto ko lang yung point ni Jello na at this time he situates being single as a phase, no? And I would understand where he's coming from, because perhaps he's still young, and perhaps his consideration of being single is that you really need to graduate from that particular phase, or it's something temporal. Pero Jello, when you reach 42, Diyos ko, yung hugot ko dito, pag umabot ka ng 40s, you will be able to really define it to me, no, as a vocation, no? Kasi pwede naman, no? Pwede naman at 30s, late 30s, or even before tumapak ng 30s, magre-respond dun sa calling na yan, no? But of having a partner, no? And also for us, particularly yung pagiging trans woman, single, medyo mas challenging, no, sa amin. Why? Because yung expectation sana, because nakakahon din kami doon sa heteronormative nga na kamalayan, no, karamihan sa amin. At yung heteronormative na kamalayan na dapat meron ka talagang partner, no? Para maging happy sa buhay, no? Isa yan sa mga mental models na mga
i-equate talaga yung partner equals happiness.
Oo. And at 40s, no, I began to realize that yun nga, I could have chosen otherwise, no?
Yeah.
But ang daming mga ang tingin ko, I'm really called into this, no? Maaring hindi pa yung kabuuan ng single blessedness. Baka I might drop the blessedness yet, baka singleness muna.
Mas matino ka kaya kaysa sa akin. Joke lang.
So talagang struggle.
Si Hadji lagi nagdadasal ka naman, di ba?
Oo naman.
See?
Paano?
Okay.
So, kaya at 40s, yung sa tingin ko, pag dumating ka siguro sa doon, gagraduate ka din doon sa kaisipan na parang this is just a phase for me. Pero may terminal end din siya. Kung pag fading moments na phase na talaga siya. Kundi ito ay temporary phase na mangyayari sa iyo, because you will really choose to this particular path, no? Kasi nakita ko naman yung happiness ko dito, yung fulfillment ko dito, at yung completion. Ewan ko, there's that sense of completion na
yes, there is. Yes.
Compared dun sa mga kaibigan ko din, na hindi naman ako nagko-compare, kaya madalas kino-compare lang sarili lang sa akin. there is that sense of peace and completion that I can walk alone. And I can walk alone with my God, uh, even if I am single, no? Or most especially that I am single.
Yes, yes. I understand what you're saying, Hadji, about feeling at peace. No, there is no perfect mental image of
Mm.
how a person will be and what would make
Yeah.
him or her happy. Why? Because iba-iba ang kwento natin. No, tulad ng Jello, sabi niya, it's a phase. Sa'yo naman, there is an age wherein somehow you are going to decide on, or you have decided on, or you feel that this is already your life in the future, wherein you get to be settled with a status that you have and you work within it, no? Yung iba naman nagsasabi naman, you can work within it, at least you have a sense of direction. If there is another information that would come, suddenly someone comes when you're already 50s, for example, hindi naman ibig sabihin, no, that you will not be following God. The last episode were about those with commitments, like those already pronounced their vows, and then or already a priest, but they left. Does that mean that they have not followed God's will, and therefore they will not be happy? Pero kung titingnan mo yung kanilang kwento, hindi, 'di ba? Sabi nga ng isa, we find being, as you have said, settled, as Jello would say, a state of peacefulness wherein you are at home. Somehow there is that kind of feeling. 'Di ba? I don't know. I'd like to ask Jai about this. What do you think about this? Or what do you feel about this? Or your experience somehow?
Well, I actually agree with Angelo at some point that I think it is a phase, because for my case, I'm actually adopted. So I've learned it when I was in third year high school when my papa died. Tapos din na sinabi sa akin ng mom ko. Tapos after namatay si papa, my mom actually went into another relationship. So parang sinasabi ko, hala, walang naiwan sa akin. Kasi yung dad ko nawala, tapos yung mom ko may other relationship na. And I'm adopted. So, paano to? Sino yung pipili sa akin? I'm just looking for a person na kahit anong mangyari, ako yung pipiliin niya. I think, nakwento ko to kay Ma'am Hadji before. So, I was always looking for a relationship. Starting when I was in third year high school up until, I think, after nagtatrabaho na ako. And then always siyang traumatic. Always talagang umiiyak ako. Always akong problemado. So walang peace of mind. And then, when I think it was in 2018 and up until the whole year, parang 2019 na siya nag-end, hindi talaga maganda yung relationship. Na araw-araw, gigising ka, iiyak ka na lang, tapos tatanungin mo if kaya mo pa ba. And then sabi ko, I need to help myself. So at first, I am just trying to teach myself kung paano ko ba kakayanin mag-isa. And then hindi ko na malaya, natutunan ko na pala maging masaya kahit mag-isa. So yun siya. And then I fell in love with being single. I'm actually, parang I could meet people, but still I value my freedom. And I think it might be a phase, or baka dumating din ako sa point na, sige, I accept na I will be single. Okay lang din yun. But right now, I just want to enjoy the moment. It might be a phase, it might be not, pwede din na hindi, but I'm happy and I'm enjoying it and I'm settled and I'm okay. So I think kailangan mo lang talaga matutunan. Kasi dati sinasabi ko, kailangan ko lang mag-self-love. Pero hindi ko alam kung paano yung self-love. Kasi sinasabi nila sa akin, Jai, wag ka muna mag-relationship. Mag-self-love ka muna. Sabi ko, nagsa-self-love naman ako. Pero parang hindi siya effective. Kasi, my definition of self-love before is taking care of myself. Parang wanting to be beautiful. Para matanggap ako ng partner ko. Tapos na-realize ko pala, it should be that I want to be beautiful for myself. That when I've learned that, what do you mean by self-love? It means prioritizing yourself. Doon ko na natutunan na maging masaya mag-isa. And then I'm okay. I'm fine with it. So, yeah, it might be a phase, or pwede rin na okay na ako ng ganito, but what's important is I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. So, yun.
Meron akong follow-up question about your sharing, Jai, also. Is it true that there are times really that a relationship is not your present priority or interest? You want something else that you want to pursue in life more than any relationship, because you do have relationships already, and it probably is, like, for example, a course, which you're pursuing, your MA or even doctorate, or sometimes it's your talent where you want to know how good you are, di ba, yung ganun type ba? Na hindi relationship yung priority mo, not that they are not important. It is not just that in your face, there is a certain self-fulfillment that you are trying to reach.
Yes, Father. Na-realize ko lang din siya nung nag-stop ako maghanap ng relationship. Na ang dami ko palang pwedeng gawin if yung energy ko ilalagay ko sa mga tamang bagay. So I realized, before kasi parang wala akong mahanap na research topic, wala akong mahanap na advocacy, hindi ko alam kung ano gusto kong gawin sa buhay. But then when I focus on myself, I realized na okay, sige, as a researcher, I want to focus on gender politics. As someone in Ateneo, I wanted to focus on voters education, and I wanted to focus more on activities related now. I can work with NGOs, and I wanted to focus more with my family. So yung mga bagay na yun, na-realize ko lang din talaga siya nung nag-stop ako maghanap. Na okay pala na mag-focus ako sa sarili ko. Ang dami palang mga bagay na kaya ko pang gawin na hindi ko siya nagagawa before. Kasi busy akong umiyak sa mga relasyon na
Gusto ko yan, busy umiyak. Emote ka ng emote, ganyan.
Oo. Kasi Father, before, yung first heartbreak na hindi ko talaga nakain, I called my mom. It was, kasi 2018 na mag-New Year yun. So parang naawa yung nanay ko sa akin. Binilhan niya ako ng ticket going to Malaysia. So we had a trip as a family to Malaysia. Tapos ta-travel ka. Tapos naisip ko, sana pag maging okay kami, we could travel as well. Yung imbes na enjoy mo yung sarili mo, that you're in another country, you're actually thinking of having someone to be there. But right now, I'm looking forward on traveling alone and trying to see the world alone. And yun siya, I'm looking forward to enjoying being single, which I was not able to do before.
Ako, Jai, I can tell you, iba ang fulfillment ng solo traveler. Because I do that, okay, nami-miss ko nga na ako lang mag-isa, parang pwede bang hindi ka muna father, nobody knows you, etc., etc. You can just be there. You can just be. Walang you just be. Nami-miss ko yun eh. I went to Sikihor, I went to Cuenca. It's really nice just to be alone. So alam kong ibig sabihin na, di ba? Pero that's true, no, what you are saying. Meron isa dito na tanong sa ating Facebook. Sabi ni Jean, what are your thoughts about the people most difficult to love are those who are comfortable being alone or even at their best when they are alone? Nag-gets nyo ba? Gusto yung ulitin ko?
Oo.
Please repeat. Please.
Okay, ulit, Father.
Kindly repeat the question.
Kindly repeat.
Okay, the question.
Is there an interpreter?
Is there an interpreter? Correct. O kaya yung expression, ano daw? Ganyan. Sige, ulitin natin na. What are your thoughts about the people most difficult to love are those who are comfortable being alone? Baka masyado siyang self-sufficient na yung tao na yon ay parang hindi niya kailangan ng iba. Pero ikaw, crush na crush mo siya. Gets, no? Okay, children.
Oh yeah.
Tapos ito yung karugtong. Or even at their best when they are alone. Meaning that person is already at his best or her best when they are alone. So hindi ka na kailangan.
Hindi naman.
Sige, bahala ka. Yan, yung nag-disagree ka agad. Sabi ni Jai, please explain. Next.
Hindi kasi parang ako, I'm enjoying being alone. Pero it doesn't mean na I'm closing all my doors. Kasi kahit at your best ka pa, if you find someone na compatible sa'yo, may ikaka-best pa pala yung best date mo. You're not actually, hindi ka naman dapat for me this is just my opinion. For me, you should not be looking for a relationship to be better. Dapat okay ka na, satisfied ka na sa sarili mo pag papasok ka ng relationship para mas matured, mas less toxic, pwede kayong mag-communicate ng mas maayos, and be at a better state with someone. Kasi if you're gonna be with someone else, iba naman yung better state na yun compared sa being alone ka. And siguro talaga, if you're thinking na, kaya nyo na kasi mag-isa, kaya mahirap siyang mahalin, baka hindi lang talaga ganun ka-compatible. Kasi kahit gaano kakasanay mag-isa, if you actually found someone na kayang sabayan kung ano ka, it's gonna be okay. Hindi siya ganun kahirap. For me that's my opinion. Awan ko lang kay Ms. Hadji or kay Angelo.
For me kasi, I actually disagree with the notion that single people are difficult to love. Because in the first place, maybe they think single people are difficult to love because in the first place, they are actually single, right? Well, love is actually not easy. Love should be a challenge. In fact, love should be difficult. Because if love is easy, if love is not a challenge, then it's not love. It's just lust. So ang habol niya lang sa tao is to have sex like that, right? So if you really want that person, if you love that person, if you like that person, you have to be worthy. Like for example, single siya, and then you think that he or she is difficult to love kasi he or she is like best, as what the question said earlier, na best at being alone. No, actually, because that person loves himself or herself more. Kasi single siya, kasi siguro kasi meron siyang self-love, right? So alam niya ang worth niya, alam niya kung anong klaseng tao ang kanyang dapat i-love in the first place. Because for self-love, like what Jai shared earlier, self-love people, single people, don't chase, actually, they attract. So yung experience ni Jai to become better in terms of health, professionally, like that, kasi she's trying to attract the right person, right? For me, for my own experience, I don't want to chase. I'd rather attract. So kaya siguro single, or kaya I do my best alone, or I'm trying to hold myself better because I want to attract the right person. Because if I'm going to chase, if I'll be the one to chase a person, maybe it's the wrong person. Maybe our personalities won't click. Kaya yun, kaya we have breakups, we have relationship breakups. And again, love should be difficult in the first place. Everyone should be difficult to love, right?
Jello.
Yes, father.
May tanong ako. May nagtanong, mahirap ka bang mahalin?
Siyempre naman, lahat naman tayo mahirap mahalin.
Huwag ka na lahat naman tayo. Madali kaya ako mahalin. Pwede. Madali ako mahalin. Yan. Sige, sagutin mo yan ha. Mahirap ka bang mahalin? At o kaya, ano yung nasa sayo na mahirap mahalin? O mahihirapan ang ibang taong mahalin?
Ako ba? Or si Miss Hadji? Ako ba? Sige, ako.
Ikaw, sa'yo yung question eh.
Sa akin pala. Sige, yes. Oo, siyempre, mahirap ako mahalin. Because,
bakit?
I know that
ano yung sayo, nasa sayo na mahirap mahalin? Magiging challenge sa ibang gustong magmahal sa'yo?
Siguro yung 1 meal per hour. I love food, so dapat dapat mas masarap siya sa food. Parang gano'n.
kailangan mayaman para maka-afford ng 1 meal per day.
Hindi. Food lang, simpleng kwek-kwek lang, okay lang naman sa akin, or balloon.
Kwek-kwek lang pala, cheap. Okay, di ba? So mga nakikinig, cheap lang pala to, cheap. Kwek-kwek lang naman eh. So, ganyan. May comment dito ka. Ano to? Sabi si Doc Pao to. Doc Pao, maybe basahin lang sa'yo. Sabi ni Paolo, teka, Minsan ba may times na nalulungkot kayo by being single? Like you cry at night kasi single ka. Galing kay Paolo Christopher.
Ako sasagot niyan.
Yeah, talaga.
Oo. There was a point in my single life na na-feel ko yung forlornness, no? Yung talaga I felt forlorn na pagkatapos ng aking pagkatapos ng aking
Hadji,
Yes.
paki-explain ng forlorn. Kaya siguro para hindi tumatagal yung relationship mo kasi baka mamaya kailangan may dictionary.
Baka nga, parang feeling na itinapon kang mag-isa sa mundo. Okay? That's how that's really the forlornness na pag-define actually ng mga philosophers. So there was a time na medyo mahaba yung panahon na sobrang single ako and all of my friends had their partners. And after for example, ng aking classes sa graduate school, ako lang mag-isa. And parang kailangan ko pumunta ng coffee shop. And then there was a time na talagang naluha ako sa sarili ko na talagang dahil feeling ko mag-isa lang ako. Kaya nga, it really takes parang some sense of maturity to integrate all of these parang conflicting feelings na nandiyan, no? And along the way, kapag nag-mature ka, you will be able to graduate from this. And I think yun sinasabi ni Jello kanina na phase lang yan. Maaring phase talaga nga. Dahil hindi ko na iniiyakan ngayon, no? Minsan tinatawanan ko na lang yung mga incidents na napaiyak ako dahil mag-isa lang ako, no? Ngayon hindi. I feel so happy that I can walk alone. Minsan nagwo-walk ako papuntang Shrine Hills because I live nearby Shrine Hills sa Matina, no? Just see the sunset na mag-isa, and hindi na katulad dati when I was in my 30s na early 30s or even late 20s na talagang minsan naiiyak lang ako bigla dahil single ako. Nagsa-self-pity, kumbaga. But now, no, I feel so self-assured, no? Pero siguro balikan ko lang yung question kanina, kung mahirap bang mahalin yung mga difficult bang mahalin yung mga single, no? Tama yung sabi ni Jello na parang si Jello pa yung mas mature dito sa atin, ano?
Yun na nga
Maraming karanasan yata itong batang to. No?
Alam mo, meron akong tulak na magtanong pa ng personal kay Jello at saka kay Jai.
Oo nga eh.
Baka mamaya, hindi na ako papansinin ng mga yan.
No, I learned a lot from these two kids, no? Hindi na pala kids.
Oh, kids. Kids.
So yung mahirap bang mahalin? Sa tingin ko, may kahirapan nga naman talagang mahalin yung mga single. Because difficult yung i-pull out mo sila sa kanilang default mode na, no? Mahirap yung, no? And then I remember yung naging partner ko, sabi niya sa akin, na-insecure siya na maghiwalay because at that time alam niya magsusurvive ako at baka siya hindi. It was not flattering. No, it was not flattering.
Haba ng hair.
Oo, haba ng hair. Parang rebonded yung feeling ko. Galing Aurora papuntang Taguig, no?
Haba ng hair, grabe.
Yung feeling na, oh my God, ito yung taong pwede palang ganun yung difficulty ang tingin nila sa mga singles na sobrang self-assured na magsusurvive, no, kapag hindi nag-work out yung relationship. And it was not flattering kasi feeling ko, my God, ako yung makaka-hurt deeply din sa taong ito if ever we are able to work this out. No?
Is it also true that it's difficult to love someone who's single, especially those single, accomplished, assured of themselves, di ba, confident, etc. Kasi biglang maghahanap ka ng puwang, saan ba ako importante sa buhay niya?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Diba?
precisely. Kaya mahirap magmahal ng single. No? Mahirap talagang magmahal ng single.
Talaga naman. Actually, Hadj, nag-agree sa'yo si Jean. Sabi ni Jean, I feel you, Miss Hadj. Nax, grabe. At saka sabi nga ni JD ulit, sabi ni JD, do not look for the best person, be the best person.
Yeah.
Okay. Oo. Thank you, Doc Pao. Si Doc Pao, sabi ko na since siya yung nagtanong, gusto ko rin comment tayo dun sa kanyang sinabi. Ano magiging advice mo? Sabi ni Doc Pao. By the way, guys, if you want to follow Doc Pao, he is at Paulo MD, kasi doktor siya, MD Tweets. Okay? Okay. So sabi niya, lahat ng nasa Twitter timeline ko parang happy with their partners na at nagkakajowa na yung iba. Sabi nila, all good things come to an end. Kaya enjoy it until it lasts. Sana. Ano may masasabi ba kayo ganyan? Pero Doc Pao, thank you very much. Okay. Ito, meron tanong si Karen. Gusto niyong tanong ito si Karen. Sabi ni Karen, if darating ang araw that love will knock on your door, how are you willing to embrace the opportunity? Sino yon?
Ako.
Jai, ikaw yun. Okay, Jai. Sige, Jai.
Nag-heaving.
Depende.
Yun na nga. Hadji ka. Rinig ko yung hibig.
Kasi parang I experienced
ba to,
that.
Jai?
May hugot yun eh. Hindi, I experienced that kasi parang after a very bad breakup, may mga dumating naman na willing to wait daw, ganyan. Tapos ako, yung hindi ako ready during that time. Pero iniisip ko, teka lang, okay siya as a guy. Mabait siya, may trabaho siya, ma-effort siya.
Marunong siya maglaba.
Hindi ko alam. Baka hindi kami nakarating sa point na ganun. Pero, ang iniisip ko nun, hindi ako ready. Alam ko sa sarili ko na hindi ako ready kasi hindi pa ako ganun ka-healed. Tapos, hindi pa ako ganun ka-satisfied sa kung ano ako as a person. Pero at the back of my mind, teka lang, pag pinitawan ko to, tapos hindi makaantay, baka makuha ng iba, sayang. Ganyan yung iniisip ko. Tapos, ano talaga ako nun? Yun talaga yung...
Jai, ano yan? Lazada? Na add to cart?
Papaunahan na no.
Papanahon na.
One item talaga. So, parang I talk to the person. Sabi ko na, willing ka ba? I mean, I'm still finding myself. I want to heal before I actually enter in a relationship. And then, as I was finding myself naman, na-realize ko, ay hindi ko siya dapat i-consider kasi nasasayangan ako sa kanya. Kasi that's not love. So yun, I realized na medyo nakakahiya, Father. Kasi nung kinausap ko siya, sabi ko, tama na siguro, napantayin ko tong tao na to. So kinausap ko siya, sabi ko, hey, kamusta ka na? Ganyan. Tapos I apologize na pinaantay ko siya. Hindi na pala siya nag-antay. May relationship na pala siya during that time. Naloka ako kasi medyo matagal-tagal na.
Ay, sorry na lang. May bumili
sorry
na.
lang pala. But I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
Name reveal. Regards mo naman siya.
Ha?
Baka nanonood siya.
Huy, wag!
Hello, kamusta ka na?
Kamusta na kayo? Nakakaya. So, yun. Tapos, may another person na naman din. And then, na-realize ko parang, hindi pa pala talaga ako ready. Kasi pag tinatanong na ako kung anong gagawin ko, pag pinagsasabihan na ako na dapat siguro ganito, or are you willing to actually compromise, parang hindi na pala okay for me. So, na-realize ko, tatanggap if ever someone knocks on the door, I will only accept the love if really I'm ready. Pero pag alam ko sa sarili ko na hindi pa talaga ako handa, hindi na lang muna. Kasi masasaktan ko lang din siya. So yun, that's for me. But I don't know, maybe I will find someone who will understand, who will really wait. Then that's good. Thank you, Lord. Pero kung wala naman, then antay-antay lang muna talaga kung kailan ako maging ready.
Pero Jai, ako, kasi of course hindi vote mode ko for kapag single parang feeling ko dapat i-work out ng taong nangangatok sa atin bilang single, no? parang yung readiness at saka preparedness natin naka-angkla doon sa usapin na are you willing to work this relationship out?
Yeah.
Oo. Parang it's not a pre-given na kasi sa totoo lang, kung ready, hindi talaga ako ready kasi number one, wala ka naman sa firmament ng decision-making processes ko.
Yes.
But if you are willing to work this out, baka naman, no? I might be ready, no? So yung openness na yan will always be contingent at saka relative dun sa kung gaano ka porsigido yung tao, gaano ka bukas loob din siyang magpapakita ng kanyang sarili, no, para matanggap, no, at makilala, no, yung taong gustong magpakilala at nangangatok sa atin, no. I think ganun yung aking parang school of thought diyan. Parang
School of thought message.
kasi madalas hindi, ako yung always hindi ready. Kung yung default mode ko, hindi ako ready for that. Okay? Pero minsan kasi because that's my default mode, tanggap ba yan ng tao na hindi ka ready? At saka kumbaga, hindi ka nga doon sa priority, gumawa ka ng hakbang para ikaw na number one doon sa priority. No? Because yung default mode ko, wala ka pa doon sa aking, wala siya doon sa hierarchy ng aking ng aking decision-making processes. No? Gumawa siya ng hakbang na outstanding para magkaroon ng leap of faith. No?
Pwede naman kasi yun, di ba?
Pwede naman.
Pwede naman. Actually, Miss Hadji, for my case, ginawa naman niya. Todo effort talaga siya. Tapos, he even actually came dito sa bahay. Tapos,
Nag-offer ba ng house and lot?
Hindi naman. Hindi naman umabot sa ganong punto. Pero kasi, bihira for me yung guy na willing to actually pumunta dito ng bahay to meet my family. Pero siya, pumunta talaga siya. And okay talaga siya. Pero ako kasi, pag alam ko na ako yung nag-shut down, ako yung parang hindi nag-communicate ng maayos. So siguro naman, kahit gaano pa ka-effort ang tao, kung mahirap talaga sigurong mahalin yung other person, hindi ko siya masisisi kung nag-give up siya if you look for someone else. Kasi hindi talaga ako ready during that time.
Mm-hmm. Ito yung mga panahon na to, are there still regrets until now?
Oo naman. Pero may closure na ako doon.
Oo, meron, Father.
Hindi ka naman tinatanong kung naka-move on na tayo. Kasi we can move on naman, pero the regrets remain because tapos na ganyan. Kaya ang tanong ko muna, may regrets pa ba?
Paminsan-minsan, pero fleeting lang, biglang mawawala. Naisip ko lang, ay sayang. Tapos minsan dati, may face ako ng tawag ko sa kanya, tapos kinukwento ko siya sa mga barkada ko. Uy, alam mo, yung totga ko, the one that got away, yun siya. Pero ngayon, parang I'm happy for him. Very, very much happy for him.
Naranasan nyo na ba na nagkita kayo sa mall?
Ano? Hindi sa mall. Sa trabaho.
Oh my gosh, dito? Okay. Teka, sige, sandali lang. Makikita ko siya dito, no? Ikaw parang pinag-uusapan namin sa radyo.
May clue na.
Ikaw, Jello, may regrets pa ba?
Ito, yun na nga. Tanungin natin, Jello, may past relationship ka ba? Next, tinanong talaga, is that okay?
Yes, okay lang naman. Oo, I had a past relationship before. So, and of course, life is full of regrets. So, kasali na yun sa mga regret list ko and all the other incoming regrets sa life, yung mga past relationships as well, and yung mga the one that got aways na people. Right? Because in the first place...
Ano yun ba yun? Meron kang plural, the one that got away. Hindi marami sila.
Madami sila, Jello.
Hindi naman pinagsabay, syempre. Di ba? Pwede pagsabayin, pero hindi naman yung official na pagsabay.
Yes, you're a good boy kung you're like that. Sige. Sige na, marami naghihintay ng sagot mo. Go na, Jello.
Ano nga yung tanong, yung regrets sa life? Ang dami kasing,
Ang daming comment kasi. The question is just simply, did you have past relationships? Kasi pinag-uusapan natin, ano yung, di ba, ang single ka, tapos biglang nagkita kayo ng ex mo o nangliligaw sa'yo na meron kang regret na sana, di ba, ganyan. Ano pakiramdam mo kung nagkita kayo? Sabi nga ni Jai ay, sa trabaho, father, hindi sa mall, ganyan. Tapos, kailangan itong gumbagitin. Sabi ni Tony Polistico, nasa natin, taga-Ateneo de Davao, Dax, tapos hello, Tony, ganyan. Sabi niya, hindi ready equals the one that got away.
Totoo.
Okay, sige. Okay, so, game na, Angelo.
Oh yeah, I had past relationships before. Tapos many times kami nagkita sa mall or even sa office. Work, right?
In other words, iba yung mall, iba yung office, ganun ba 'yon?
Oh, hindi.
Huli ka.
Grabe naman to si Father. Ano ito? Freudian slip.
Correct.
Regrets lang. Like what was my life with that person? What would be my life like with him, right? With that person, and then would I have been like happy? Would I have been like satisfied, or would it result to more regret? Would it result to more damage? Would I be broken even more? So whenever I meet my ex, there will be like a lot of questions raised, unanswerable questions na puros what ifs, right? So those what ifs are the basic foundation of regret, right? So either regret in a good way, like what if we won't be happy, so baka magbe-break din kami eventually, or what if we would be happy and then we would last, and then it will elevate into something more happier, like that.
No, maraming what ifs.
Yeah, right. Ang daming what ifs. Yun din yung mga what ifs ni Miss Hadji and ni Jai sa kanilang mga the one that got away. Mm-hmm. So those are one of life's mysteries, the mga what if questions to that person, kasi we can't really predict the future, right? So hindi natin alam kung ano pala yung nangyari. And then the only thing that we can answer is yung experience natin sa kanila. Like if we're happy, if we were happy together, would that continue? There were times na nag-away kami. Would that be like the norm in our relationship na lagi kami nag-away? Right? So those are also the present what ifs. And then based on doon sa experience na yun, hindi mo naman alam yung future, so doon ka na lang maghuhugot ng mga scenarios in your head before ka matulog.
Relate.
Right? Doon ka maghuhugot na may katabi sana ako, siya sana yung katabi ko, right? Siya sana yung kasama ko mag-Netflix, siya sana yung kalambing ko during those cold nights, mga ganon na mga bagay.
Pagka mag-alala, wala namang cold night dito, puro hot nights eh.
Oo nga eh.
Ay, malamig sa atin niyo, Father.
Oo nga, ganyan. Yeah, gusto ko yung yung imagination, kasi that's true, no? Part of it's not just about regrets, di ba? But it is really our innate spirit that we would like to imagine the future, because the future is always uncertain. So meron tayong scenario building, kumbaga sana sa election. Kung nanalo si ganito, anong scenario natin? Kung nanalo si candidate so and so, ano din ang scenario natin? Yung mga ganyan, importante yung scenario building. Pero it also happens in our own very personal relationship. Sabi ni Tony sa atin, let me read. I think regrets will lead one to risk more in loving. Regrets can be a purifying factor in future commitments. So, kumbaga, in other words, hopefully we can learn from the past, no?
I think yung sa tingin ko yung regrets allow us to learn more about ourselves. So parang it catapults us to self-learning and self-improvement, so that when we extend ourselves perhaps to another individual, will be better persons. So that when we say I love you siguro to another person, then we'll be better persons na. Kaya yung regrets natin, very self-purifying, and because it comes from a place of learning. No?
Yeah.
That we will not do again the behaviors that are not life-giving to the other.
Gusto kong lawakan itong topic natin. Sabi ko nga, mag-overtime tayo eh. Bawal ako mag-overtime. Next time na lang pabaan natin to. Pero ito may magandang tanongin din to, di ba? So if being single can be a state wherein you are really fulfilled and happy, far more than what society tells us that you are not happy if you are not attached. Magandang tanongin yung tipong, ano yung sources ng joys natin na single? Ganyan.
Siguro for me, yung aking source of joy, reflecting, because usually every eve of my birthday, I always reflect on my journey kasi hindi ko naman alam kung kailan ako mawawala sa mundo. So there's always that looking back and reflecting, no? And as a single person in my 40s, no, I think, no, that the source of my joy, of course, my family and friends, and of course, my advocacy. Sabi ko nga, yung commitment sa isang tao lamang, maaring hindi ko na siya at this time, parang walang tibok doon. Pero yung pagmamahal sa bayan, pagbubuhos ng sarili sa kapwa, parang ang dami-dami ko palang pwedeng mabigay para dyan. And lahat ng energy, marami pa akong mahuhugot dyan. And to my mind, siguro dahil adulting na talagang in my 40s na, iba na yung priorities mo. No? Lalo na at this time na I've committed to living a single and perhaps even blessed life.
Yeah. You discover na mas malaki pa pala puso mo kaysa para sa isa lang.
Oo.
I actually agree with Miss Hadji. The source of joy for being single is your sense of accomplishment. Like you are feeling accomplished that you're independent. You are feeling accomplished that you can do things on your own and you have done things on your own. Like for example, breadwinner ka sa family, and then you, in your terms of your professional life, nobody helped you rank up in your corporate office. You have done it on your own. And as for like your education, ikaw lang sumagot ng mga modules mo, hindi yung jowa mo.
Diba? Hindi, baliktad. Hindi yung jowa mo yung gumawa ng modules para sa iyo.
Diba? So kung graduate, so if you have graduated, so parang may pagmamalaki mo talaga na yun yung ano mo, yung on your own. You have done things on your own, and that's very difficult and rare to find that kind of personality in a person.
Yeah. Alam mo, it's really for your self-fulfillment, diba?
Yes.
And also the sense of your productivity. Yun, yung that sense na may mga bagay na pwede kong gawin in my own power. You are empowered, but not just, it's more than just empowered, diba? To find your own power, the right power, that indeed, no, as individuals, we can change the world in a way, really. Okay. So parang ganon. So ako, Jai, nakaganon ka talaga. Parang ang lalim na yung thought. Parang feeling ko, no, kung i will convert your thoughts, magiging reflection paper siya ng sociology. Or something ganyan.
Submitted to Miss Hadji ba?
Kaya mga 3 pages pero single spaced, ganyan.
Totoo, Father. Pero the same. Parang I think kasi ngayon focus talaga ako sa sarili ko. I find happiness in that. And na-realize ko na yung mga ginagawa ko pala, nakaka-apekto siya in a positive way. Kasi right now, since election, I'm really focusing on the voters' education of Blue Vote. So, every time na nakakapag-share ako, lalo na sa mga kabataan, on not who to vote, but how to vote, it's very fulfilling. Tapos yung naliliwanagan sila sa mga bagay-bagay. Nare-realize mo and then masasabi mo sa sarili mo, okay, pag yung susunod na generation, mas educated voters na sila, may ambag ako doon. So, doon siya nanggagaling. And of course, with my friends, with my family. And yung mga bagay na pinaghirapan ko talaga. Like, for example, nakasubmit ako ng paper ko ngayon, approve na siya ng mentor ko for my defense. So, masaya na ako doon. Dati hindi ko siya nabibigyan ng much attention or ng mas mahalaga or di ko siya nakikita na important siya kasi focus ako on the wrong things. But right now, even the little things really do matter pala talaga. And it has an effect. So, I find joys on those things.
Okay. Jai, kakatapos lang ng meeting ko kanina with the Davao Association of Catholic Schools, and I gave them may pitch ako in terms of fact-checking for the elections. I just gave it to them. Na-prove naman nila, gusto naman nila. Of course, with Father Joel. Anyway, teka muna, sandali lang. Relationship, pinag-uusapan natin, napunta tayo sa election. I just want to read this kasi I think this is important. Sabi niya, may stigma ba ang pagiging single?
Oh,
Pwede bang decision din ito? Okay, tweet ni Che Adora. Hi Che, if you're here, no? Father, issue lang naman po yan ng mga chismoso at saka chismosa. yan ang kanyang sagot. After a certain age plus other factors, hindi na napapansin ng taong single na single siya. Unless ginawa niyang misyon ang makahanap ng magiging lifetime partner.
Tama naman. Kasi sa tingin ko, ang pagiging single ay, as I've said kanina, ang stigma ay nanggagaling doon sa, bakit hindi ka ba ganun kagandahan or ka-attractive na wala kang partner or ano bang masama sa iyo, ugali mo ba, or trait and characteristics mo na hindi na-attract yung ibang tao sa iyo. So may mga ganung klaseng kakabit yung pagiging single. Mas lalo na sa lipunan nga na very heteronormative yung consciousness, no? You're measured according to these standards kung meron kang partner o wala, no? At yan ay emotionally damaging, lalo na kapag insensitive yung mga taong nito, no? Lalo na yung mga pa-joke natin, umanap ka na nga ng boyfriend, umanap ka nga ng girlfriend, as if ganun kadali, no? Na magpipick ka lang sa Lazada, Shopee, or Foodpanda, no? Hindi po ganun kadali. Ang rason po para sa magiging single ay napakalalim. Madaming factors ang kino-consider, no? At ito ay decision din, no? Maaring it's the circumstances that decide for you to be single, that you are forced to be single by circumstances. At meron ding you really decide to be single. And therefore, let's be compassionate to people who have chosen this path or were forced by circumstances to this path of single blessedness.
Nice. Stigma talaga yan. Alam nyo ba, there's a youth study in 2018. It's from the Macan Youth Group, World Group Studies on the Youth. It says there, the most stressful is age 30 and above. The most confusing is 20 to 30 to 29. 30 and above is the most stressful. You know why?
Why?
Next! Lakas talaga ng why! Because it is the time when parents and other people are asking you, bakit wala ka pang boyfriend? Bakit wala ka pang relationship? Na kung pwede lang i-shopee mo yon, pero wala kang magagawa. That's why it's very stressful. And we can be very insensitive. Ganyan. As if the only option is just that. Yun ang Nax. Statistics yan, worldwide. Nax.
Yes.
Okay. And any Jello nang nagpapa-shoutout. Si Rita Maria Villacorta, shout out daw. Jello. Tapos
Kumarkada ko yan. Anyway, I think the stigma of being single is rooted upon Filipino culture kasi our ancestors or our grandparents or mother and father, ang upbringing nila sa family is that they're expected to marry someone. An ideal Filipino family is really just to marry someone at an early age and have a family and to be established, right? So like for example, you are in a Filipino culture, you are actually being judged of how stable or how fulfilled your life is if you already have like a family, if you have married and have kids, right? Pero in this modern age, meron din ako nabasang studies before that people or young people tend to not marry, or there are more and more young people who doesn't like to have a family, especially during the pandemic. Like the population growth of the Philippines last year in 2021 was the slowest and the smallest in like 75 years. The last time that population growth was back in 1946, something like that. So it goes to show that with this modern age, there are a lot of people who are deciding to be single. Kasi siguro naman being single can which would also mean an economic factor kind of thing, right? Kasi 'di ba the oil prices are high, insurance is high, education is high, the market prices are high, so people tend to not like engage in more in like in a family setting kasi they would like na sarili lang nila ang gagastusin, or sa sarili lang nila ang may gastos or may investment. Right? So that's also one of the decision and the factor to look forward to within this modern times. Pero as what I've said, the stigma of being single might be rooted upon like the Filipino culture and our mga ancestors before. Yeah.
Pero I'd like to pick that up, no? Matatapos na tayo. That there are more people who do not want to be attached. The reason for that is because of the options available for them. The options now is far wider. Kaya di ba? Than the past. The past is ito lang yung options mo eh. Mag-asawa ka o magpari ka o maging nan ka. Halos it's also our the boundaries of our minds and culture. But now because of social media, because of the internet, we have seen other options and going to other countries, going to even study in other countries. Those opportunities that is opening up would entail that you have to be free, or else that it is true na kung maasawa ka tapos gusto mo mag-aral abroad, hindi yan madaling desisyonan. Kasi yung pamilya mo, sino mag-aalaga, etc. So there are many options. That's why you're correct, Jello, na I've seen many studies that says that there are many people now considering the single life as their life option. Okay.
And then there are also may yung tinatawag natin, and there are other alternative relationships that you can pursue aside from marriage.
Yes. Nako, matatapos. Ano na tayo? Nag-overtime na tayo ng 10 minutes. Grabe talaga. Pero pa tayong maganda to with some inumin at saka lahat na diba? Itong ganitong usapan. Jai, you wanna say something before we go?
Actually, yes, Father. Kasi ako bilang babae, parang may deadline sa amin na pinapatong yung society kasi sa biological clock namin. Na minsan, ilang beses na ako nasabihan na you need to find a relationship kasi tumatanda ka na. And I'm just 25. I'm very young. But people are telling me to find relationship. And every time magbe-birthday ako, sinasabihan talaga ako ng mga tao, may wishes talaga na I hope makahanap ka na. I hope you find someone. As if I'm not okay being alone. As if hindi ako masaya na wala akong kasama. And I just want siguro to put it out there na if a woman actually choose to be alone at a certain point of her life, kahit tumagal pa yan, that is her choice. And that is okay. And may biological clock ka man na tinitingnan kung gusto niya manganak ng maaga kasi kino-consider niya yun, that is okay. But for women who doesn't actually think about it that much, that is also fine. Because it's our body, it's our choice. Kung gusto namin na manganak at 35, technology could be there. The advancement of technology that is related to health is there. It could suffice. It's fine. So I hope as Filipinos, and not just in Filipino, in China, if you're 27 and you're single, they label you as leftover women. So I hope leftover father. 27
Grabe naman.
pa lang yan ha. Magto 2 years na lang, 27 na ako. So I hope tanggalin natin yun, yung stigma, na pag tumatanda yung kahit sino siguro, kahit hindi babae, kahit lalaki pa yan. Kung gusto nila maging mag-isa, that's fine. That's their choice. Huwag natin i-label na hindi sila masaya kasi mag-isa sila. So yan lang.
Yes, thank you very much. I just want to say two things. I am very proud, guys, that actually I am a product of many single women. In school, lalo na, no, in school, people have dedicated their lives for students, people who have, and they are well remembered. My teachers who gave everything for all of us, they are well remembered, including our librarians. Hindi to stereotyping, no, but these librarians have given themselves to us when we're studying. Suddenly, Jboy, ito yata hinahanap pong libro. Tapos bibigyan nila sa akin. Alam mo ganon, I owe them even my priesthood. Those who have been single. So I'm a product of many people who are single. That's why I want people to know that it is okay to be single. There's no one way to happiness. It depends on how you're going to live out your life. And many single people have affected mine. Many of my aunts are also single. So, but they have loved more than those who are not single. So I'm also very, very grateful for many of you for discussing what does it mean to become single. And single is not a negation, as people say. It is not the absence of. Single is the presence of more than anything else. That's what is being said here. The presence of freedom, the presence of being able to love more than just the heteronormal type of loving, etc., etc. I'd like to end with, first of all, thank you again, Angelo, Hadji, Jai. Sana magkikita-kita tayo, ha? Dapat lang. Pwede naman pagsama naman ng kwentuhan na to outside of the radio program. So, once again, maraming salamat. Sabi ni Tim Lead, sabi niya, it's very inspiring advices from our guest and Father Jboy. My biggest takeaway tonight is that there's so much love out there as a young guy who's afraid being single for a long time. Like the conversation tonight gives me hope that there's still someone or something waiting for me out there. I'm very willing to wait, as love, among other things, should not be rushed and forced in any way. Sabi din ni JD, ramdam ko po yung pressure from friends, especially to find a partner at my age. Yes, we are all in this together. So again, thank you once again. No, in our postmodern age, the single life is often seen as a lifestyle for, they said, party goers now, a pit stop until marriage, or between relationships, or even a dumping ground for those who are unable to attract a mate. We have just debunked all of that. But each of us, we live alone for many reasons. But we do benefit from some time in contemplation and creativity given by solitude. Some do seek to protect many of these elements in their lives. Being in solitude, for example, like in the past traditions of monasticism, for example, has been very relevant to a life of chaos and confusion. We need time to be alone. And some people have dedicated their lives to be alone. A life alone is not a life of absence, as I have said a while ago. For those who embrace solitude, living alone offers clarity, offers a sense of purpose, and offers a sense of, you can get over things. You can put yourself at the service of a loftier ideal. It is about transcendence. So once again, thank you very much for being with us tonight. Let me thank James and Justin for helping me at the backstage of the Hugot Hour. If you have topics that concerns you and you would like me to consider them here, like this topic on single blessedness at the Hugot Hour, please message me on my social media accounts at Jboy Gonzales SJ on Twitter, Instagram, my YouTube channel, and on TikTok. watch out for my upcoming podcast, Jescom Podcast, Juice at Jos, talking about thorny topics, Jesco, and within the ambit of faith, Josco. Only on Spotify. So good night, everyone. Again, this is Father Jboy Gonzales, SJ, your host, wishing you a great week ahead. And it was fun tonight. Maraming salamat po.
The Hugot session is now closed. See you next week for another episode of the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends. Subscribe to Father Jboy on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Jboy Gonzales SJ and radyo-katipunan socials for more Hugot. This has been the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan, the voice of the Blue Eagle.